Hey everyone. So we're a quarter of the way through 2019 and I still feel like there's a lot more I need to get done, but I can see things moving in the right direction. I got to be on set with Michael Moutsatsos a couple more times to finish up shooting The Butcher. We shot a party scene that had one long moving shot that went through it and kind of gave the audience a sense of what was going on and how many people there were, and it was really difficult to shoot, but it was a great shot and I think it's going to turn out really well on the film. I'm excited to see this film once it's done because I acted in one scene and then I was the camera operator slash director of photography for another 5, 6, 7 scenes. So I'm excited to see what it looks like once it's fully together because I only know bits and pieces of the story. I also got a role in the music video Excuse My Accent, which shot in Studio 60, I believe, near downtown LA. It's about immigration, inclusivity, socioeconomic problems, different things that kind of reminded me of the themes of War of the Limelight, so I was really excited to work on it once I got cast. I was up before sunrise and on set for 12 hours, so you'd think it would feel like a long day, but I met so many cool and inspiring and different people that, it just flew by. I got to give shout outs to Drei Ros and Rob Young, two of the artists that worked on the song that I got to meet on set. Also Ahmed, a stand-up comedian, Muhammad, a filmmaker that's going to put out some really interesting horror films in the next year or two, Devon, who gave 100% every take. I can see that he's going to go places. Abe, a platinum pianist from the last song on G-Eazy's third album, met him on set as well. Hopefully I get to work with him at some point in the future as well. Also to Michael, Matt, Jackie, Ali, different people that I met on set, and Shining Ray and a Beer, two amazing singers that we actually got to hear on set singing just during the downtime.
Hello, lonely nights to the dawn, why don't you take me away? Dream lover, come rescue me.
And of course to our director Richard Stan, who had a great vision for this project and I can't wait for you to see it. I left the set feeling really motivated, inspired by the people that I've met, seeing what they were doing in the industry and where they were trying to get in the industry. I really hope I get to work with a lot of these people again.
Yo, alright, see these people here? These are some of the realest people having a great time on set with all of these people. No doubt. This set is wild. I love all these people and I've only known them for a few hours.
So I googled myself the other day because I wanted to see which films or what websites would pop up first when potential employers were looking me up to, make sure my online presence is good and that people are seeing the right content from me when they do Google me. And I found a website called Dead or Alive that was basically confirming whether I was alive or not. Luckily it did confirm me as alive, which is great to hear, but I was really surprised that it existed at all. I guess they do it for a lot of different people. But it kind of leads me into my next topic that is a little bit more serious. For those of you that don't know, when I was 19 I had 2 strokes, but due to a number of different reasons, including improper medical care, medical malpractice, and the fact that I had no mental clarity for a long time afterwards, I didn't even know the full extent of what had happened until years later. It wasn't until 2018 that I learned that I had had 2 strokes on top of the other brain and body injuries that I had had, and I realized that I had a lot to learn about how to take care of myself and how to prevent another stroke. Luckily, there are a lot of stroke support groups all over LA County that have doctors, physical therapists, and other medical professionals that you can talk to and that present on different topics. The best part, though, is the ability to interact with other people who have had strokes. I didn't know these existed until this month, but it's been really cool to meet other people that have had different types of strokes and to talk to them about what our similarities and differences are and really to see how lucky I am. Because a lot of people couldn't even tell that I had had it, other than, some of the scars and different things like that. A lot of people weren't even aware of the lack of mental clarity that I had. And I want to apologize for that for anyone that was around me, that I interacted with, friends, relationships, anything, because I really didn't know a lot of what was going on in the first year or even 3 or 4 years afterwards. So if I treated you differently, or if I said things that didn't make sense or anything like that, I want to apologize for, everything that happened. But talking to these people and learning more about strokes has taught me just how fortunate I am, not only to have survived, but to be as independent as I am, and to have the quality of life that I do, to not need a caretaker. I also learned a name for what we are, what a lot of people who have had strokes call ourselves: stroke warriors. The reason for that name is because instead of stroke victim or stroke survivor, it's because once you've had a stroke, you're at war with it for the rest of your life. Every day you continue the battle to prevent the next stroke, which, if you live long enough and nothing else kills you first, will eventually happen, no matter what. But if I eat right, exercise right, and take care of myself, I might be able to push that back until I'm in my 60s or even my 70s. So, fingers crossed, of course, but remember that tomorrow's never promised, so enjoy the time you have. Because of that and my filmmaking career, a couple people have suggested that I write an autobiography. So I decided to give it a shot, and I'm about 90 pages in, and I really like it so far. It's actually been really helpful for me. I'm not sure about using real names or what would happen if I released it with everyone's real names, but I'm just writing it 100% honest for now, and I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. I've really enjoyed writing it so far. I feel like I'm learning more about myself as I write different chapters. I reached out to a couple people to make sure my timeline is right and to fill in the pieces I'm missing, and it's really helped me to understand some of the times I don't remember and to give an order to the memories I do have. On a similar note, I went to a Patreon conference because I do plan to start a Patreon sometime in the near future, but while I was there, I met Justin Castillo. He is a really cool person that runs a podcast about different people, looking at their lives, what they've experienced, people who have interesting lives or hard lives and have made it through things to tell the tale or be successful as entrepreneurs, different things like that. I told him a little bit about my story, and he decided to bring me on for an episode. It's episode 72. It's called A-Type Studios, Eric Hinwood, and as always, there's a link to it in the description. This is a really cool guy that gets to hear all sorts of amazing stories from different people, so I really suggest you take a look at the podcast, not just my episode, but all of them. Every story is unique, and every story is motivational or inspirational in some way, shape, or form. There was a panel of speakers at that conference, and one of the speakers was Stephen Ray Morris. If you don't know who he is the producer of the My Favorite Murder podcast and a couple of other ones, but he's also a really cool guy. He stuck around after the panel was over, and I got to talk to him for maybe 15-20 minutes. He was a really nice guy, and he's always working on great content too. One of my good friends is a big fan of his, so I made sure that I talked to him before he left. Also, shout out to Kareem. We met again this month to talk about an upcoming project that we're going to be working on. He has a podcast called Hussle and Motivate. You should check it out if you get a chance. And if you recognize the reference to the Nipsey Hussle song, you have good taste in music. Also, RIP to a legend that we lost too soon. Every month I like to go somewhere to get away from the city for a little bit. So this month I went to Mount Baldy with Larry, the guitarist from the Carpe Diem trailer, and Shane, the DJ from Power 106 that I worked with back in January. It was snowing there, so we used plastic box lids and got to slide down some mountains, and it was great.
So I love the snow, and I never get a chance to be here. So I've got this little lid, and I'm about to slide down this entire thing while Larry and Shane over here watch. So, wish me luck. Oh shit. Oh! Whoa! Right where you guys are!
Shane and I also did a collaboration on a short film / music video for a track that he released in 2018, and we finished the voiceovers this month, so be expecting a release coming up sometime in the near future. It's called Runnin' Away, and it's about an addict who is struggling with if they're going to use again or not, and it takes the idea of What if the sober mind and the addict mind were having a conversation in his head while he's debating whether to use or not? I'm really happy with the way it turned out, so sometime soon. And that's March. See you in April.